Welcome back to another episode of Coffee and Coin. I have my dear friend and accountability partner on the pod with me today. Hey, Steph.
Hey, I am so excited and terrified for this.
First off, where are you talking to me from?
I am in Salt Lake City, Utah, my birthplace. I did my first 10 years here, and my dad currently lives here, so I'm just visiting family. But it does feel really good to be here on a Friday. I got here on Wednesday. That like lifestyle freedom is really lovely at this point. So yeah, Salt Lake City.
It's also funny to watch you set up a podcast from a random Airbnb room. She's like opening up the blinds, turning on the lights. I'm like, close that closet. I don't want to see those corners.
I wish you could see everything else.
Just bought the microphone. I love it.
Oh, yeah, bought the microphone yesterday. I made a little sign that says recording in progress outside the room because everyone's napping and I know people are gonna wake up during this. So anyway, we're really do DIYing it over here.
I wish I could put a recording in progress on my office door and my baby wouldn't cry. Like, I wish she would respect that, but not
She's
going
like,
to
oh,
happen.
mom's recording.
No, she's going to wake up really hungry and dad's on, distract her until we're done duty.
Oh, sweet Lou. That's the biggest thing that's different about our conversation from this year to last year.
I know. And so, listen, y'all, for those of you who either know one of us or both of us, or we get a lot of people who comment on our relationship because we're fun friends. Accountability partners are the best, but I am going to go ahead and tell you the theme of this is real talk. We did not do our best in terms of being accountability partners in
No.
2022. We had made a plan to meet every 2 months and to publicly share our meeting every quarter. And that did not happen because you can go back to episode 91 that was recorded in January of 2022 and now it's January of 2023. So,
I know.
I mean, do we want to recommit to that for this year but make it happen?
Definitely. Yes, we do. We said we were gonna meet monthly, right? And we did meet, but we
We
would like
did
go
meet.
get our nails done or
Yeah.
or hang just, we met on those Fridays. We had them on the calendar and we were like pretty good about it. But then yeah, there was no recording, there was no checking in. This is the first time I'm seeing you, Allegra, you just shared this with me like 1 minute ago, and it's like, oh my God, it's the first time I'm seeing this in a year, which
I just showed Steph what we had for our 2022 goals at the beginning of last year. And now it's 2023. And we have not even done like personal 2023 goals. We're both business owners. We're both very business minded. So we have company goals up the wazoo, but we're people outside of our businesses. So we will be getting more clear on our 2023 plans and share that later. But this episode, we did just want to be very open and honest about what our goals were and how far we came in achieving them. So I guess I just wanted to dig into first off, and this is such a popular thing in the last few years that I had never heard of before I moved to Austin, but everyone picks a word of the year. And I know last year your word was leverage.
yes.
Leverage to achieve health goals, not work so hard on deals. You wanted an admin to help with personal life. So, did that happen? Did you live leverage last year?
That's a great question. I think the word of the year I really love it, and I think if I would have checked back in on this word, it maybe would have happened a little bit more. But I do think that as I grow in my career and in my investing life, leverage continues to I continue to get better at using leverage. So yeah, it was probably my best year yet of using leverage. Can I do better? Yes, definitely. There's one part of that was admin to help with our personal life. Neither of us did that, right?
No, I have it.
You have it? Oh, you
Yeah.
do.
But I didn't get it until January of this year. So,
Oh, is this new?
yeah, this is new.
Oh,
I have a house manager nanny.
what?
Surprise.
This is a surprise. Oh,
It's the
is it
best. She's the
is it
best.
I've met her, right?
Yeah, you met her.
It worked.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. Congratulations. This is huge. We've been talking about this for 2 years.
We really have. We were like, we should get
Yeah.
house managers because we're really busy and we always prioritize our business over our personal lives, and our nice cars are falling apart and our, this, that, and the other is not getting done. And so at one point we thought we might share someone, and then we thought we would go individual and maybe have someone who could hybrid between our work and our personal life. And then when I became a mom last year, we obviously needed to figure out our childcare situation. And I mean, this is a little off track, but at first we had a nanny share with a friend, and then that didn't work out. And then we got a part time nanny, and then we promoted her to a part time nanny house manager because she wanted more responsibility. And she is amazing, and it is definitely incredible leverage. So, where's your admin?
I know. We hired an admin for our company, which was a big deal. And honestly, that has helped a lot of my personal woes. I mean, there's a lot more. But as far as paying someone like a full, I mean, I don't think I would need someone full time, but I haven't gotten there yet. And I think that it's going to take the problem with hiring someone is that it takes a lot of organization and follow through, check-ins, being very clear on what you want and what you need. And I'm definitely not there yet, which is what brought me to my word this year. But we should go through the rest of our goals, right?
Yeah.
Before we get to this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, well, my word for last year was simplify, which is hilarious because I was pregnant when I was recording this a year ago. And, I guess you're just a little delusional before you have a child about what it means to have a child. And I can assure you, my life did not get more simple after my daughter was born. If anything, it was like drinking from a fire hose of all of the things, and breastfeeding and taking care of a baby and communicating with your partner. It was just a lot, and it was not simple by any means. So I failed at my word
Well,
completely.
but you didn't expound on your word in the doc. So I feel like you wanted to simplify so that you could spend the time on being a mom, and you
That's
did.
true. That's true. I really wanted to be able to step away from Factora for a few months and have a baby. My goal was 4 months. That did not happen. But I I did. I had a baby, and Factora survived, and Factora was my original baby, and I was really, really worried to leave baby one for baby two, and here we are. It's all good. So in that way, maybe it wasn't the right word, but you're right. I did achieve the ultimate plan, which was to have a baby and still have a business.
Yes, you have both of those things. They're doing both of them amazingly. And I think that I mean, it's so funny because relatively to ourselves when we first met and how much we were hustling and how busy we were and how can you imagine 3 years ago taking 3 months off of doing anything?
No,
I mean,
that's
it was
actually a really good
amazing.
point because we still hustle, but way different. No, I mean, you couldn't even call it hustle now compared to how much we hustled,
No.
but we're just very motivated women. So we still work hard. We just don't work as around the clock, which I
Yes,
think is
yes,
important because if there's no rest, I have zero creative juices left in me.
yes.
And I used to burn the midnight oil. I was like, of course I have to. It's a startup. I have to get to 1 million women, and I have to get to them all tomorrow. So I was just tearing my hair out. And,
Oh,
that doesn't help
yeah.
anyone.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, in our retrospect, we definitely are looking just 1 year in the past, but when we met, we were working regular W-2 jobs and starting companies.
Yeah.
So I have to really remind myself of that often when I'm, waking up leisurely and like all these things that I wanted so desperately 3 years ago. And, we might not have achieved our goals from last year, but there's a lot of things to celebrate.
Oh, there's so much progress. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I've wanted a family. I've wanted to start a family for a long time. So being able to do so, being able to afford it through this entrepreneurial venture is amazing. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing that I get to work from home and be with my daughter. It's amazing that I can afford a part time nanny who is here at our house so that both my husband and I can see her all day long. There are so many parents who do not get that opportunity, and I definitely feel gratitude for that every day. And, I think back to even 5 years ago, I was living in New York in a bedroom, basically. I couldn't even imagine any of this. And now we have very beautiful homes and very, spacious lives. So
Yes.
that brings us to our word for the feeling we wanted to have for 2022. And yours was ease. Talk to me
Yes.
about whether you achieved that.
I think I'm feeling a lot better about ease than leverage and about my number goals because I do feel like my life has drastically increased in ease over the past year. So my explanation for ease was no rushing, relaxing mornings, and just like having a more roomier schedule. And I do have that. I do feel like I've achieved some more ease, and I want more.
How much more ease? Where are you going to put it?
I think I'm gonna put it more. I mean, I always pendulum way far in one direction, so I've maybe have gone too far and have created dis-ease in other aspects of my life, like sleeping in too late and and then not getting to my workout or whatever that is. Like the real self-care that isn't putting masks on my face, but it's actually like showing up for myself and holding myself accountable has kind of gotten lost in this ultimate ease. So I think reeling back on that type of ease will give me more ease overall.
I love it. Well,
What is your what you
yeah,
say is yours on here? Your feeling?
it is. I didn't copy it over, but it's over here. It was spacious.
Mm.
And it's the way I expanded on that was I wanted the space to read, write, and walk daily without spending too much time behind a computer screen. And I absolutely never miss a day of walking. I have not been so good on the reading and the writing.
So hard.
It is so hard.
But that's a great, I mean,
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think spaciousness is still something I yearn for. And, you know, back to having a kid, when I have space and time in my day now, I want to spend it with her. So I choose that over journaling or over grabbing a book. But I do think that now that we're 5 months into this, I'm getting to a place where I understand her schedule and can still find spaciousness in mine. So that's still important to me. I'm definitely not there yet.
yeah, that's great. I like that you are able to say, well, I said I wanted this in the beginning of the year, and then Lucia took priority, and I'd rather spend time doing that, and that's okay.
Yeah. And it's the best, honestly. So I'm totally
Yes.
fine with that one.
Good.
All right, let's do numbers. So talk to me about what some of your business goals were and whether or not you hit them.
Okay, so our goal for 2022 was 2.5 gross revenue. We did not hit that. We were right under 2 million for the year in gross revenue, which is still amazing. I still feel very good about it. We did 10% growth, and in my brain, 10% is nothing. Basically, it's wild what our brains do to ourselves, and 10% growth in a business is amazing. And in fact, our goal for this year is, and this is spoiler, but is a flat goal. Our goal is to do 0% growth, which is huge growth for me as far as my personal development.
Totally. Totally. Um, I'm just realizing, in case you don't know who Steph is, she is the founder of Open House Austin, which is a real estate education company that also has brokers, or excuse me, also has real estate agents in the Austin area that help people get into first time homes or investment properties. And our communities are very, uh, what's the S word?
Synchronized, intertwined.
Synchronous? I don't know.
Yeah, one of
There's a lot
those.
of synchronicity
Yeah, it's
between
there we
our
go.
communities.
There we go.
And yeah, so just in case you don't know who she is or what
Yes.
she does, but so she's
Thank
saying
you.
that from 2021 to 2022, her business grew by 10%, but she had a goal for it to grow like,
What?
an extra million.
50%.
We both
Yeah,
did
40.
that. We
Yeah.
were both like, oh, let's just throw a million on there, see what happens, because we
See what
love
happens.
big, audacious goals. So she grew 10%. Anything else for your business goals that you either did or didn't hit?
Working max 10 hours a week, which really I'm proud of that, but I took it a little too far and started getting mad at myself if I was working over that. I took that to heart, and so I've been working with my business coach on basically talking to myself about how much I like what I do, and if I'm working more than 10 hours a week, I'm choosing to do that and I like it, and I really love the people that I work with. So it's an interesting line in the sand that I drew with the 10 hours that really stuck with me. So now it's more like, 10 to 18, which is amazing. That's incredible and I feel really proud of that one.
Yeah, I'm sure anyone listening with a 40-hour work week is like,
Yes, I
18
know. I
hours,
know.
20
I
hours.
know.
Sounds fantastic. And yeah, you do work with a really great team. So it's
Yes.
so funny. I've never had anything like that in my brain because for me, it's like, no, I have to work full time in Factora, but I don't want full time to look the way I once worked in New York, which was dawn till dusk. Just you
Yes.
go to the office when it's dark, you leave the office when it's dark. That was such a depressing life that I will never have again. And I know for you, schedule freedom was so important. And that was the giant goal that took you out of being a teacher and into real estate. So I know that you're very cautious to not overwork, but I'm like, I used to work 60-hour weeks. So I just want a normal job that I actually enjoy and love. Um,
Yes.
anything else?
I'll do these ones quickly. We hired one more agent. Yes, Mandy, she's amazing. And then I said that we wanted to do Q2 raises for everybody that works W2 salaries at our company, which is 4 of us. That did not happen. In fact, I had to lower my salary. And I honestly, that's kind of a strategic tax move as well. But we did hit a rough patch in 2022. And full disclosure, yeah, we were just like, okay, well, founders need to chill and not make as much. So we had the goal of $200,000 salaries, and I'm at 100,000 in my salary right now. That doesn't count draws, but it was a humbling, like, okay, it's okay. It feels like backwards motion, but we're fine.
Totally. Okay. Well, good goals, good progress, and good vulnerability that it's not always up and to the right. I think that was our biggest learning from 2022 is that you and I are always so positive, are always so bullish on our companies and getting to more customers. And we really passionately believe in what we do. But that doesn't mean that what we do is gonna always mesh well with the macroeconomic factors. I mean, you work in real estate and mortgage rates went berserk. I work in personal finance education and people have been hearing whispers of a recession for a year. So there
Yes.
are factors outside of what we do that affect these giant goals that we pull out of the sky and put in front of ourselves. And I guess the reason I'm stating it like that is almost just to remind us that our goals are big, but they're our goals. Like we do not have to hit them and something terrible is going to happen. And so
Yes.
the readjusting and the being okay with taking a break from growth for stability or even backstepping to go forward is all part of being a business owner.
Absolutely. It's really hard for us, especially as someone who broke out of my W2 to be an agent. So that's my own self by myself, unlimited. There's no ceiling to what I could make. I was gonna do it. That no matter what, I was gonna do it. And it's different when you have a company and you have people who have different outlooks and there's external factors, like all of these things are working together to create the results. It's not just me. So it's been an interesting wave. I'm like, okay, fine, external results, fine, whatever, whatever. But like, come on, do it. But I have to take that into consideration, and that's been a huge learning for I think both of us as business owners. We can't have ultimate control of everything when we are running $1 million companies.
Yes, totally. Okay, so Factor's goals. I wanted us to get to 2 million in revenue in 2022. In 2021, we passed the $1 million mark, not by much, but we passed it. And in 2022, we went backwards. We shrunk by 30 grand. So not huge, but not $1 million. And that was really, really hard for me to handle. Just because, like I said, I am so invigorated by our mission. And if we aren't growing, it means we're not serving as many customers as I want to.
Yes.
But some of the other goals that I had was to start health insurance and a 401k for my employees. And we did that. We did that in the beginning of last year, and they all got to benefit from that. We hired and grew our team. I wanted to establish a 4-month maternity leave. Again, 4 months was not realistic, but I got a few. It was interspersed because we were in a launch cycle, but it was still something that I'm proud of. I also think now, actually, as much as I want as much maternity leave as possible for women, I do get why it's so hard for small businesses to offer that. I mean,
Yes.
we're a 4 to 5 person company at Factora, and if someone is missing, it's like really daunting for the rest
Yeah.
of the people who have to pick up and shoulder what they were doing.
That's
So,
25%, 20 to 25% of your workforce.
exactly. So we have to reevaluate that. Because that was something that I wanted to just be an automatic and I couldn't do it. And then I also got the realization that I don't know if it suits our business. At the end of the day, we have to be able to stay in business for the women who we serve and the people who are employed here. So
Yes.
TBD on what that policy ends up being. And then I wanted to work less. So my goal was to not work Fridays, um, because I can't even imagine only working 10 hours in this business. It consumes me. And I mean that in a loving way. First baby. But yeah, there were a handful of Fridays I took off, and I want to be a lot better about that this year. The way we have our nanny set up is that she's with us Monday through Thursday. So Friday is meant to be a family day. And I will be very transparent that Steph and I are recording this on a Friday. So breaking the rule right out the gate.
That's a great point. This is kind of work. It's work, but it's fun.
It's fun. A lot of what I do is really fun. It's just there's
Yes.
a lot to be doing.
Right.
So, what about some of your personal goals?
Okay. So my personal goals, I said I wanted 400K in my paper portfolio, which did not happen. But I started my paper portfolio not that long ago. So I'm being pretty compassionate with myself over that, and the market's so down. And so that's what I mean about external factors. Like if it was continuing to grow in at the pace that it was over the past however many years, then maybe I'd be closer. But I made it to about 240, which is, that's great.
That is
Um,
fantastic.
the one that I really nailed was living in a house that I love in 78702 with big windows, lots of space to host, and a luxurious closet. Ah, I did it, and I didn't know how I was gonna do it. I made this goal, I had no idea. I mean, we were gonna do that big renovation, and we didn't do that big renovation, and so it was, like, not what I had in mind, but I did it anyway.
We both hit our real estate goals. I feel like we're always pretty on the money
Yes.
with our real estate goals. And neither of us going into this call last year knew more, knew how it would turn out, obviously, but we wanted to be in a nicer house or a new house. And we both got different versions of what we sought
Yes.
out, but we got them. So
Yes.
I'll
And
just
we
interject
really
with mine too, because
Yes.
I literally wrote on here, um, living in a house I love by July, and we moved into a new house by March. So we didn't
Yes.
we didn't even know about this house till probably right after this call. Steph was our agent, so we closed really quickly. But I even said the area codes I wanted. I'm off the mark, but I'm so close on the other things. I said 1,750 square feet, 3 to 4
Ah,
beds, 2 baths, space for a tiny a home gym. We converted our 2-car garage into a home gym. So basically check, check, check for both
Yes.
of us on the house fronts, but they never look exactly like you like. But that's why I like just determining as much as you can for your North Star, because we're not always going to get everything. But if we prioritize, we can get the important things.
Absolutely. It's so amazing to not have known that we were going to do this. And we had no path forward. And I think we both hit a wall of like, we're, we're business owners. We feel like we worked so hard. We're done scrapping. We're done making concessions in our living situation. And then we also realized that when we have a peaceful living situation, we're more productive, we're more creative, we can do more and stress less about our living situation. Although we both sacrificed a lot to grow quickly in real estate.
Yeah. And so just for people who don't know our stories, Steph, how many doors do you have now?
I have 30 doors.
So Steph has 30 doors, meaning she is a huge real estate investor. That's a lot of houses. I don't know property. What is that property wise?
It's about 20. I think it's like 18 right now.
Okay. So
So,
it's that many houses, but doors mean that some of those houses can be split into multi units to be rented for additional income. And both of us have used the acquire a property as a primary residence and then flip it into a rental strategy. And because we did that so many times in a row, we were just looking for the best house for what would ultimately become a rental, as opposed to the right house for us, because we knew it was a short term situation. And so I could not agree more with what you just said about, it weighs on you after a while. Like when you're moving and transitioning houses. I mean, literally, wasn't it last year that you bought all the furniture out of one of my houses for another one of your properties? Because we were
yes.
flipping one house from a short term rental into a long term rental. So I was like, Steph, you got to come get all of this furniture out of here. You can have multiple rooms of furniture for like no money, but it's got to go by Monday.
Yes.
Which it is really fun to be real estate investors together and to be able to do that. But I just want to be very real that it's fun to talk about now. It's not always fun to live. It's a
It's
lot.
grating, yes, and thinking about those times and the even once you move into a place, it's not like, "Okay, you moved, it's one day of moving, that sucks." It's like, I'm looking at this wall and it's not complete. I'm still in that phase right now. My office is nowhere near where it needs to be, stuff like that. It's a process and it's really it's a lot of time, it's a lot of money, and when you're doing that every 2 years, 1 to 2 years, it's yeah, we were both ready to be done.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're in a different phase, and that's no I mean, people who are listening probably are in different phases from us, but it is really nice on the other side, and then my word leverage, using leverage in other capacities to continue to invest, um, that ooh, that's the goal moving forward, and so we're not using as much of our own like, we've been you and I both physically moved full houses, we've physically I mean, so much, so much. So it's exciting. It's really nice that we're both in this position.
And it is funny because I think about some of my other friend groups, my high school friend group, for instance. I don't think any of them have any interest in real estate investing in this, like, I don't even, hands on method that we've done to get really good deals and not allocate too, uh, too much money to it. Because when you do that primary residence investment, you can put down 5% instead of a typical 20 to 25% that people think that you need to buy a house, but you only need that if it's not a
An
primary.
investment. Yeah.
Yeah, if it's an investment property. So, anyways, watching them all buy just lovely homes that they've loved from moment one and settled into over the years, and I'm like, okay, I'll be out of this house in 9 months and looking for something else. It's just it is a very different lifestyle because there is that calmness that I've seen there that I've yearned for. And knowing that we were starting a family this year, I was so primed and ready to get into a nice comfortable house in a quality, not improving neighborhood. Just a nice, already improved, no dogs are going to attack my dogs, no sketchy situation on the street world. And we did that. So,
Yeah.
yay us on our real estate goals this year.
I agree. And I think, I think to the friends who have also done that, who've just been settled, it's it's a choice. You know, they chose to focus on other things, and they probably, I mean, I don't know everybody's case, but a lot of times if you do that, you're just like, okay, now I can work and I'm going to do the traditional retire when I'm 65. I'm going to get my, you know, 401k when I get there, and we just chose a different lifestyle, and I like it's definitely I don't regret anything, but it's so interesting just watching as mid-30s, just watching things shake out. And I mean, we're in such amazing situations with our work life and all of that. So yeah, sacrifice for the greater good.
Yeah, well, we talk about this a lot. Short-term pain for long-term gain. And I think
Yeah.
a lot of America sells you on stay sleepy, don't pay attention, just go to work, spend your money so that you have to keep going to work, buy one house that's really expensive so that you have to keep paying us high taxes on it so that you're a taxpayer for evermore. And, you know, there are just a lot of different creative ways to do it. And I know that women in both the Factora and the open house community are very interested in understanding what those options are and how they can utilize them to
Yeah.
build long-term wealth that may not be very comfortable as they're in the building phase. So anyways, I
Yes.
do feel like we're kind of coming out of the struggle build and we're more in
Yes.
the enjoy build. So I guess let's just talk a bit about best of or worst financial moves in 2022.
Yeah. I'm going to start with worst. um,
Sure.
we bought, so Alan, my fiance, we've been together for 10 years or so. He's slower on the uptake for his own personal real estate portfolio. He kind of just like is in the background, and I manage things for the most part, but he decided to jump into the pool this year. We bought a house that we were going to live in while our other house was going to be under contract, or sorry, under construction. And it was going to be a year-long build, so we were going to live in it for a full year. We bought it with a primary residence loan. We bought it with a high interest rate because it was when interest rates started to go up, and we ended up buying that house and then immediately finding the house that we loved that we were going to live in forever. So now we have a large payment on a house that's very small in an amazing location, and it's just not covering costs, which I've never experienced before. So that kind of brings me to my word for this year. Can we do that? Or should I
Yeah,
go
no,
into
let's
that?
do it.
Okay. So I have all of these things. So basically we're coming out of pocket monthly for this one house. All of our other houses are cash flowing quite a bit. So it's fine. Like it didn't ruin us. It's amazing. It's like still everything's fine. However, my word for this year is optimize. I have so many things in place. I kind of scatter shot over the past 10 years. We're just going to do everything we can. And this year, I am optimizing. I am going, and that means everything from my properties, like the interior, the decor, all of that, all the way to who's my property manager, what are we doing as far as that goes. And then I'm just going to optimize and leave it.
So basically, you did all of the buying of the assets, and now you're going to optimize to make sure that. Would you consider selling properties?
You know, not in a downturn, like, we're not selling for less than what we would have been able to get over the past couple years. But yeah, I think if that in the interest of optimizing, we are really it's funny because I have 20 properties. That's wild. We're trying to figure out, like, we're doing this all in the interest of the future, right? And so right now, my balance is, okay, let's have fun now. What is it? Like, where is the turn where we can just start, not suffering for the future and shift that to enjoying. And I started that with buying this house, but like what else how else does that manifest in my life?
Yeah. Okay, so your word is optimize. Well, and so I appreciate you sharing that one of your houses isn't doing well, but 1 out of 20 is not bad. And y'all, the beautiful dream house she bought, she also bought it with a back house. So she really got 2 properties in one, and she's renting that one out. So Steph is
Yes.
queen of how can I have an option, at least B, if not C, on utilizing this asset to bring additional income and
Yes.
cover costs. So I think we'll spend next episode, so this one doesn't get too long, on our 2023 goals, but I will leave you all with my big financial change in 2022, and that is surprisingly having a baby. They're very expensive. You don't know what you don't know until you have one. No, but in all honesty, the only piece that's expensive is the childcare.
Yeah.
I'm giving her the milk, so food is free. Whatever organic food goes to me just gets repurposed for her. So I actually like that. But and toys, we're not really into having a lot of stuff. So
No.
girl has like 2 toys at a time and she loves them. But when it comes to the actual care, that is very important for us and we are willing to spend. And I had no idea that we would be spending so much. But my word for 2023 is self-responsibility. And I chose that word because little known, not secret around these parts, I have not driven since I lived in New York. And it has been a dozen years a baker's dozen at this point, since I have driven a car with a license, and I have a baby. So that is irresponsible. So I'm going to be doing that. I have left a lot of things on the back burner, like changing my name after getting married. And we've got to get life insurance because we have a baby. Just all of these things that are actually big deals, even though they seem like just little errands, that is all getting done this year. So the way you want to optimize your properties, I want to prepare in case anything happens, because I have a daughter now and she is just everything. And I would never want her to have, more things to deal with if something were to happen to one of us.
That's great. Self-responsibility. That's your word.
That's my word.
I love it.
I still want to feel spacious though. So that is a goal. And then
Carrying over.
I'm excited to bring you guys along for future accountability partner meetups. So if you ever have any questions about us, we are open books. We're happy to answer them on a pod. Just write into us on Factora's Instagram or info@Factora Wealth. And otherwise,
Okay, wait.
What?
Well, last thing. You had your net worth goal. Did you meet it?
Oh, my personal net worth goal, I overshot. Yeah. I got over I'm at the 1.1 million mark, and that's even with a lot of downturn. So I feel really good about that.
Yes. Okay. I'm glad that we caught you at the end of that. That's amazing.
I feel like I share that one so often. Everyone knows it, but yeah, that's where I'm at.
1.1 million, baby.
Let's go. What's your net worth at these days?
I just was looking at it because you asked me to do my numbers. I'm at 4.4 million. That's with real estate downturn too. So I adjusted all my values to reflect.
Isn't it so painful? Isn't it so
is quite painful. Going backward. Yes. It's awful.
I love it. Also, y'all, isn't it cool to hang out and talk numbers with women, especially if their numbers are bigger or different than yours? I cannot suggest it enough. Like, her having a $4 million net worth is just inspiration and a possibility drop for mine to get there eventually. So it's really important to surround yourself with people who are doing a lot with their money so that it informs you to ask questions and be doing more with yours.
Yes.
Well, accountability partner, I will see you in the next episode.
And I'll see you before then to do our accountability stuff.
Yes.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye, Fanya.
If you enjoyed this episode, come join us in a Wealth Circle. It's our live, online, 12-week course and community where we teach you how to create a personalized financial plan alongside hundreds of other women building wealth. It will change your life and your money for good. You can apply at factorawealth.com/wealth circle. That's factorawealth.com/wealth circle. See you in the next episode.